GoToMeeting on that same computer. So now ain't no problem. I'm up and running. All right, all right. Peace to Yahuwah, peace to Yahuwah. How everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone doing wonderful, magnificent, and great. I know I am. I guess no one even tried to go to talk shoe. I'm there, ain't no one there. Uh it won't even record unless someone gets in there. Let me see if I can make it start recording manually. Yeah, it can. All right, I'm gonna start. So recording started. Get there. All right. So we went back to the law 31 CFR 357:11, laws governing other interests in treasury securities. And it says, laws governing other interests in treasury securities. A, what does the law, not including the conflict of law rules of a security intermediary's jurisdiction, govern? To the extent not inconsistent with these regulations, the law, not including the conflict of law rules of security intermediary jurisdiction, governs the following. Number one, when a person acquires a security entitlement from the securities intermediary. Number two, the rights and duties of the securities intermediary and the entitlement holder that arise out of a security entitlement. Number three, whether the securities intermediary owes any duties to an adverse claimant to security entitlement. See, that's what we want to become. We want to become adverse party to the security entitlement. We're going to discuss that a little later on why. Because the simple fact is they lied and said they purchased it from you. You tell me when they gave you money for that that application that you did or promissory note. You remember them handing you a check or giving you money or put extra money in your account? I don't. Number four, whether a person may assert an adverse claim against a person who acquires a security entitlement from the securities intermediary or against a person who purchases a security entitlement of interest therein from an entitlement holder. See what I'm saying? It just said it right there that they act like they purchased it from you, the entitlement holder. We know that's gain, even though in the contract, in the UCC, they said they purchased it. Number five, perfection, effect of perfection or non-perfection and priority of a security interest and security entitlement, except as otherwise provided in paragraph C of this section. So then it's going to say whether they do have a perfection or they don't. In the majority of the time, they definitely don't. What is the securities intermediary jurisdiction for purposes of this section? See the following table. So they have a graph, right? And the graph says if, number one, agreement between the securities intermediary, its entitlement holder, governing the securities account expressly provides that a particular jurisdiction is the securities intermediary's jurisdiction for the purpose of Part 1 of Article 8 of the Uniform Commercial Code, Article 8 of the Uniform Commercial Code, and the Uniform Commercial Code. Then the securities intermediary's jurisdiction is the jurisdiction agreed upon. So it says in the actual terms and agreements, it would have to have it say what its jurisdiction was. If they didn't put it, then we go to number 2. An agreement between securities intermediary, its entitlement holder, governing the securities account expressly provides that it is governed by the law of the particular jurisdiction. Y'all already know that's what it's going to go up under, right? Because where you live is where the business was done. So for me, it would be the laws of Georgia, the OCGA. That's the same as the UCC, which is 11 dash whatever, whatever. And it says, then the jurisdiction agreed upon. Number 3, the statements in paragraph B1 and 2 of this table do not apply, but the agreement expressly specifies that the securities account is maintained at the office in a particular jurisdiction than the jurisdiction where the office is located, right? So where the security is sitting is under the jurisdiction of the office. But of course, they have an office here in Georgia if I did business here in Georgia. Berry juice. You know, I like that fruit and berries. Number 5, none of the statements in paragraph B 1 through 4 of this table apply if the jurisdiction in which the chief executive office of the securities intermediary is located. So it's never at the jurisdiction of the CEO. Did y'all know that when y'all going after these banks? It's never in his office. It's always going to be where you are. So if you're in New York, it's going to be New York. You're going to have to use New York's version of the UCC. If it's in Georgia, you got to use Georgia's version of the UCC. C, what law governs the perfection of a security interest automatically or by filing? The law, but not the conflict of law rules of the jurisdiction in which the person creating a security interest is located governs whether and how the security interest may be perfected automatically or by filing a financial statement. This is despite the general rule in A5 of this section. So that's why it's going to be in Georgia. See, in Georgia, I'm protected by the rules of Georgia, and they're going to have to do a UCC1 filing in Georgia to try to perfect their security interest in that security or application, right? The application you filled out with them. D, where is a person located for the purpose of paragraph C of this section? A person's location is determined under state law, including revised Article 9, incorporated by reference, see 357.2, as it may be amended from time to time. So once again, it's telling you what I already told you. It's going to be done in the state that you live. State law governs it. E, what law governs if the jurisdiction in the table B of this section did not adopt revised Article 8 or revised Article 8 as amended by revised Article 9, both incorporated by reference C 357.2? The law for the matter specified in paragraph A of this section shall be the law that state as though the state adopted revised Article 8. F, what other rules apply for purposes of the matter specified in paragraph A of this section? The Federal Reserve Bank maintaining the securities account is a clearing corporation and its participants' interests in book entry security is a security entitlement. So they saying there could be other rules attached, which determines if it's a securities account maintained at the federal corporation. Like if you were in New York and your securities is at the DTC, then there's certain rules that applies to the DTC or the DTCC, right? Now, with that being said, I wanted to go into uh, UCC 8315. Now, a lot of y'all, even if y'all looked up UCC 8315, they changed the law because this law was used against the banks and mad people won houses and cars off of this law. And it goes this way. It says an action against transferee based upon wrongful transfer. So why would I be reading that? Well, the simple fact is, if you gave them an application or a promissory note, right, and they deposited into an account, right, and then gave you a loan off of that account and charged you interest, and we just read in that same rule that they purchased it, but they never gave you no money. That's a wrongful transfer. Do you know they just stole from you? They stole your money. Yes, the application or the note or the securities considered money of like kind. And all they did was they did an exchange and named it like it was a loan. An exchange of money is not a loan. That's like me. I say, yo, I need change for this 100. You say, okay, I got change. And you give me a $50 bill. No, you give me 5 20s, right? And I give you the $100 bill. We're even, right? It's an exchange. I don't owe you any payments or interest. You don't owe me any payments or interest. And it's an exchange. It's an even, right? That's what you did with the bank. So how in the world are you doing it with the bank every day called loans and it's not a loan? How do we know it's a loan? It's not a loan. How do we know? We're going to get to that in a second. But let me read UCC 8-315. It says, any person against whom the transfer of a security is wrongful for any reason, including his incapacity as against anyone except a bona fide purchaser. Bona fide purchaser means they paid you. It says may, number one, reclaim possession of the certificated security wrongfully transferred. Yes. When you know how to present this, you can step to them and demand and reclaim possession as an adverse party of that security. Reclaim possession of that security or that money in like kind. Number two, obtain possession of any new certificated security representing all or part of the same rights. So if they ain't got it, which they don't because they sold it, they're going to have to give you something equivalent, aka a check with money worth the same money. Okay. Number three, compel the origination of the instructions to transfer to him or a person designated by him an uncertificated security constituting all or part of the same rights. So if they ain't got it, you can also instruct them on how you want it. Number four, have damages. They also got to give you damages for because they did a tort against you. They did you harm. B, if the transfer is wrongful because of an unauthorized endorsement of the certificated security, the owner may also reclaim or obtain possession of the security or the new certificated security, even from a bona fide purchaser, if the ineffectiveness of the purported endorsement can be asserted against him in the provisions in Section 1308.26 of the Revised Code on unauthorized endorsements. Now, you already know it was unauthorized. You already know they put two endorsements on it. First, they did the endorsement without recourse, paid to the order of, on the promissory note of a house. They did it on all types of loans. They put a stamp on it. They made it into a check. When did they tell you that it was a check and they was going to cash it out? When did they pay you for the money you gave them? It was unauthorized. And it has an unauthorized endorsement on it as well. Right? All right. C, the right to obtain or reclaim possession of a certificated security or to compel the origination or transfer instructions may be specifically enforced, and the transfer of the certificated or uncertificated security enjoined and certificated security impounded pending litigation. So you already see why they hid and changed this UCC. Like I said, it's UCC 8-315. You're going to have to search for your state to find it. I have not found it in Georgia specifically yet, but I did find it in Ohio because they moved all the UCCs around. They don't want you to know about this one. All right. Now we talked about why you know for a fact them niggas never gave you a loan, right? Because if you go to 12 USC 83, loans by bank on its own stock. This is how you know for a fact it was your application or promissory note that funded your loan. They just did an exchange. This is how you know for a fact. It says, A, general prohibition. No national bank shall make any loan, or discount on a security of shares of its own capital stock. So now it can't use any of its own money or shares of its stocks to loan you money. Not allowed, right? So they can't make any type of loan to you. Did you know that? Here's the law that tells you. B, exclusion. For the purposes of this section, a national bank shall not be deemed to be making a loan or discount on security of shares of its own capital stock if it acquires a stock to prevent loss of a debt previously contracted for in good faith. So they can't loan out their money or the depositor's money, right? So ain't no damn way they could ever give you a loan. So with that being said, what the hell they been doing? They just been exchanging money. And they've been hiding the fact that they just been exchanging with you and they still owe you that money. You the one that gave them a loan from the beginning up. Now, if y'all want to call in, the call-in number to ask me questions is 408 650 3123. Once again, 408 650 3123. One more time, 408 650 3123. All right, so now I'm going to go to the call line, see what's up, see how people took to this information. All right, all right. I don't see no one with their hands up. I guess ain't no questions so far. Oh, when did they change it? I think it was 2003 they changed that UCC. I don't know. I got a call line for y'all tonight and ain't got no questions, no hands up, no nothing. Crazy. All right, let me go to YouTube, see what's up in there. Why is everyone putting ones? Ones is saying that they like the information. Ones is giving me a thumbs up. Can someone place the law that Jonah is reading inside the chat, please? Thank you. Study man, you must have came in there late. I already said it's UCC 8312. And UCC 8312, hold on. Let me tell you the rest of them. Damn, I didn't close most of them out. 12 USC 83. And I had another one, but I closed it out. I can't remember right now. What about collateral loans? Oh, okay. Yeah, I already answered it. They can't give loans. I don't care what type of loan you calling it. Here they go again. They're saying I violated personal information. Are they saying when I gave out the call number, it was personal information? That's not my personal phone number. That's not a personal phone number. That's an actual call number to a website, a public website. They really be on that bull, yo. They really be on that bull. Anyway, let me see what else is going on. TikTok ain't nowhere near the same, even though they was doing that before they closed down. YouTube did start, my brother, Don P. All right, I'm on Instagram. I don't see no questions. They lend you your deposit, not other depositors. Right. Every loan, they claim that your loan comes from depositors. What they're not telling you is that loan came from you. You are the depositor. They take your application or your promissory note, they all securities, and they deposit it into an account because of what? There's something called GAP. GAP. GAPP. And it is a federal law that they have to do GAP. That means they got to account for both sides, the private side and the public in the bank. And they never, ever, ever tell you about the private side where that account is and how much money is in that account where they loaned you the money from. It's called the fraud in factum. That's what they're doing, fraud in factum. I was looking for the actual law that tells you it's a USC. Is it adequate assurance and performance? Um, Hold on one second. Okay, here it is. It's 12 USC 1831. 12 USC 1831. Accounting objectives, standards, and requirements. One, objectives. Accounting principles applicable to reports of statements required to be filed by federal banking agencies by issued depository institutions should A. Result in financial statements and reports of conditions that accurately reflect the capital of such institutions. See, they have to show both sides. B. Facilitate effective supervision of the institutions. And C. Facilitate prompt corrective actions to resolve the institutions at the least cost to the deposit insurance funds. Right? So they have to do gap principles. It's no way for to come out of it. Now, this law is very, very long. So another day, I'm going to read the whole law to y'all where we break it down. Okay, that's everyone that was in Instagram, Telegram. Do y'all got any questions? What's going on? Telegram got the longest chat. This is why I'll never be looking at it. One new message. Nope, ain't no questions. Shit, y'all ain't got no questions. I'm gonna get off early. I'm starving anyway and sleepy. I ain't went to sleep yet. Um, oh, that's what it is. They don't want you sharing competition company sites. Well, how the hell is people supposed to call in? It's crazy. Well, I'm looking. Y'all ain't got no more questions, so I'm gonna get off early. Um, Someone says, have you come across the process where you send the IRS a cashier's check, negotiable instrument, and do the taxes on it and have them send you a check or deposit it into your trust account, escrow account? I heard of it. I don't really believe it. Someone got to show me the law that says you can do that and you should do that. I don't do anything unless I see a law to make it lawful. That's a commerce trick. And when people use commerce tricks, that's when they get locked up. They get frivolous filing penalties of 5,000 a pop and all that. I won't fuck with that. That's more trouble than it's worth. If you were in the middle of a loan, now what to do? You recommend we do to be a better position than how they have us now. You can't do shit. If you want to get that loan, you do it the way they want to do it, and then you challenge it later on. I just read the law where it said you have to do an adverse, you have to be an adverse party to come in for that actual security. You come back for it. That's what the law tells you to do. Come back for it. It was a wrongful transfer. That's what you're going to be basing it on. Action against transfer for a wrongful transfer. They never paid you. They lied and said that they bought the security from you. It's almost like y'all don't hear the law. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. He said, yo, that's a OD gym right there. How do we find the account they deposit the promissory note into? That's for a later date for me to tell you, but fuck it. Hold on. There is a publication, a website called the American Financial Directory. You can Google it. The American Financial Directory. It will tell you the CEO, the president, and the address of the servicing agent of the lender. That's how you're going to get that information. Go to that site, punch it in, and it brings it up. All right. Don P, you're sharp in that black suit, Yahuwah. The haircut is tight too. Plus, you're dropping mad gems. Thank you, my brother. Hamdulillah. And he said, no, no hum. That means no diddy and all that. Appreciate it, my brother. He says, does that mean we can take out loans and settle the debt ASAP? Well, I would say no. Y'all think this is gonna be easy? You think they just gonna roll over for you? You think they're not gonna fight you tooth and nail? Of course they gonna fight you. It's a war. You know, you should expect a fight, and you don't know how long it's gonna take, and the whole nine. Good night, Jonah. I have that's facing foreclosure. How can she save her house? You said Heim, but I knew you meant house. Ain't nothing she can do because she doesn't know how to do it. How's she gonna do it when she don't know how to do it? Who's gonna do it for her? I'm not gonna do it for her. I'm doing my own stuff. What she's gonna have to do, and I don't even know if she's literate or not, she's gonna have to read the top secret banker's manual, read that and comprehend that. That would give her a fighting chance against those people. You know what I mean? That's the best she can do. And do she even know how to go into court and present herself in court and through paperwork? Do she know how to do a proper affidavit and all that? If she's facing foreclosure, I don't know how far along she is. That's a lot to try to learn while facing foreclosure. So this law should apply to go back and do adverse claim on a car purchase also, right? Yeah, you're right, my brother. Absolutely. Yeah, you said no, she don't. Yeah, CNB Beauty, CN Beauty Enterprise. You can't help her. You know, it's a saying, God helps those who help themselves. The problem is she's unable to help herself. But she can learn it anyway and then go back for it later. You said top secret what? It's called the top secret banker's manual. Top secret banker's manual. Yep, it's right on the internet. It's a PDF. It's free. No doubt. You know, it's a lot of people out here that's trying to teach these things, and people are teaching it wrong. And a lot of them got the information from the top secret banker's manual, and they didn't even comprehend it properly. They didn't take notes or nothing. This is coming from a CPA who's won about 100 different cases for foreclosures and all types of loans and stuff like that against the bankers. You know what I mean? You got to get it from an expert who knows. You got to get the concept. You know, you could join our private build and we read the book in the build and break it down. That's what we did yesterday. In the whole nine. I can't tell you if y'all know my name, then you can send me an email at Gmail. You can go spell out my whole name, first and last, and put Gmail on the end. And ask to join the private group. I can't just say what it is because when I do, they want to give me a strike on TikTok for saying the email. So I won't say an email. Censorship, man. Anyway, Shaka, where you at? Shaka Zulu.
Right here. Right here.
So, you know, how'd I do?
Hey, you made it simple and plain. Big Daddy Kane for the family.
Bars. You are Dougie Fresh, brother.
And it's really, see, the thing is, once again, this stuff is spread all over the place. Lord, so you gotta
read all this shit.
You gotta get the pieces from everywhere, bring it together, and start to make sense of it.
What's ill about that Banker's Manual? He has all the UCCs for sure, but he doesn't have USCs or none of that. He mentions the Constitution, but he don't really use it.
Right. You know, even with that, because I think he wants the reader to fully understand the banking policy,
right?
You know, and really understand the UCC as it pertains to a commercial transaction, because that's what you're doing, and no matter what, you know, you fill out an application, you give it to them, you've just done a commercial transaction.
Exactly. Long as you did an application and put that social on it, you got a security.
Exactly.
Yeah. 100%. And they're gonna lie and say they purchased that security from you, and they never did. Never gave you a cent. So the gap is that book. I love all the questions in that second one you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. And it really breaks down the questions to ask the bank. But he told the truth too. Most people, if they go to court, they're going to lose because they don't know the procedures of the court. You don't know if the judge is paid off. He was breaking it down how one of the judges told him they never going to get caught. The banker said they never going to get caught because they pay the judges. They give the judges first dibs on foreclosures where they can get all this property with all this equity in the house for cheap. And they become millions and millionaires, 8 million and shit. He broke the whole shit down. So, yeah, you got to be able to do what I talked about in this law tonight. Know the conflict of laws. See, the very state constitution says the banks or no corporation can have rights over you. Now, if you loan, the person who funds the loan is supposed to get paid back. And if they're not, and the banks don't want to pay you back the money you loaned them in the application or the promissory note, then that's discrimination. That's not equal protection. That's a violation of the Constitution. That means the whole contract is void.
And that little gem right there.
Yeah. See, the difference is I know Constitution. The brother, he knows accounting. because he accountant, but his accountant is on point. So I'm just gonna add the other laws in the Constitution to it.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, because now the Constitution is the foundation, and the UCC or any of the other codes and laws are what give merit to your claim.
Facts.
All right. You just have to know how to go in there and enforce it.
So we got 15 more minutes. Open up the mic and see the people on what they got to say. Everyone, please take your time coming in. Don't talk over one another.
All right. Let's see. Let's unmute. Well, I'm gonna go through it. Unmute.
I didn't know you had to do it separately. It doesn't work like TalkShoe where you could unmute everyone at the same time.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me do it like this.
Muted.
All right, he got everyone muted. Let's see. Is he gonna unmute everyone?
Unmuted.
I'm unmuted. I don't know everyone else. Someone asked, what is that website again to get the information for the banks? Boy, you better be glad I be taking notes, because I be closing shit out, y'all. All right, the website is called the American Financial Directory. And it tells you the CEO, the president's address, and the servicing and agent to the lenders' addresses and stuff too. So all the information to go after the people that so-called owns the note. I guess we can't.
So everybody, you can unmute yourself. You got the request.
You got the power.
You got the power. So you got something to say?
I want to know how they take to the information tonight. A lot was dropped on them. They didn't know that 357 went along with that banker's manual, even though it wasn't in that banker's manual.
Right. But again, we going through the information, and we getting to it, so it makes sense to everyone. Okay, so everyone has the ability to unmute and chime in. We want to know what your thoughts are on what Jonah read tonight. Did it have? Well, it should have. What kind of impact it had?
You know, my favorite hater came on to YouTube talking crap. Chucky Tronics.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you know how that be. T-Bay says, so them denying you consideration and also them denying you equal protection under the law. Love that. Yes, you're all right. They're definitely not giving you consideration and denying you equal protection under the law in due process. The Horror L, Washington State Constitution doesn't say anything about a warrant and an affidavit in support of the warrant. Can I use article from the federal constitution? Yes, you can. Yes, you can, but I don't believe that it doesn't say that. Washington State's Constitution. But I don't remember ever looking up Washington State's Constitution. But I don't believe it's not there. You got to study the Constitution. You can't just peruse it. Have you ever looked in the Washington State Constitution, Shaka?
Briefly, because wifey and myself were looking into the self-supported ministries, because that's one state, Washington State, that really understands it and really they accept them off the rip. They acknowledge them.
Right.
You know? So we really, I did have to go through it, but it's not, over the top. It's not as encrypted as you would think.
Yeah, but he's saying that it doesn't say anything about them having to have a warrant to just search your cars and stuff.
Okay, well let's check it out, because
I'm in one now, but I hate the way it's written. But yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, in the meantime, Yashawn, I see your mic is open. What you want to chime in?
Yeah, chime on in.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
I just came up on the 12 USC 1831, and I'm reading that. I got in a little late because I was having technical difficulties, but I caught you when you was reading 8 USC 312, and then I caught 315, and then I caught where you went into 12 USC 83, and then I caught the last one, 12 USC 1831, and I'm looking through that. Yes, they have to use GAP. So if they have to use GAP, that's where you catch them at, because they're not being truthful on their book. They're not putting both sides. They're leaving us on the hook, and that shows that they're not using GAP correctly.
I must admit that this Washington, and you're right, my brother. I must admit this one is written like the national Constitution. So far, where I'm looking at the Washington State's Constitution. Now, I don't know, but is there more than one Washington State Constitution?
I would believe so. What year are you?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking, and I would hope to think that it is.
Let me say this, brother. You want to use a constitution before 1933. Maybe you don't know that, but you're supposed to be using a constitution before 1933. Now, if they only got one constitution, that's the only one you can use, but that should help. So, Sean, you saying that, it said 1889 is the one you should be looking at. 1889.
Right, that's the one that I'm looking in right now. It's really kind of cut dry so far. Right to petition of the people peaceably, freedom of speech, mode of administering, invasion of affairs. No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs or his home invaded without authority of law. That would be the closest one.
All right, that's the one that you want to state, and you add that one with the federal one, a warrant, and all that. They got to have authority. Authority is a warrant.
Yeah, and that's section 7.
And it's section 7, brother. See, you sent us on a fucking work project. See, it clearly says the same shit. But the problem is you don't really know your Constitution. You need to study the Constitution, because it's clear to me. It says no person. It says section 7, invasion of private affairs or home prohibited. Prohibited means they can't do it, right? No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs. That means when you're driving around in your car, your private affairs, or walking, or his home invaded without authority of law, which means a warrant, brother. See, y'all don't know synonyms and homonyms, so when they use different words, y'all be like it's not there because you're looking for the same words. No, you have to expand your comprehension to know that it's talking about the same damn thing, even though it didn't use the same exact words. It used words that means the same as the other words.
Mm-hmm.
You need to open up a dictionary, start looking stuff up, and start looking at the similar words, the synonyms, and the homonyms, and it's going to show you that. Y'all get thrown off when they use a different word that means the same thing. Well, with that being said, that's my spiel for the night.
Yeah, sure. As usual, we go into the foundation, and the foundation is always the Constitution. You can never go wrong with that. The information is in there. No question.
Facts. I told him I didn't believe it wasn't there, because ain't no way, B. But with that being said, peace to Yahuwah. That's our show for the night.
All right, peace to Yahuwah.